नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter number 77, entitled Lord Krishna slays Shalva. Text number 1. Shri Shuka Uvacha Sa upasprushya salilam damshito dhritakarmukah nayamam dyumatah parshvam वीरस्येत्याह सारथिं स उपस्पृश्य सलिलं दंशितो धृतकार्मुकः नयमां द्युमतः पार्श्वं वीरस्येत्याह सारथिं स उपस्पृश्य सलिलं दंशितो धृतकार्मुकः नयमां द्युमतः पार्श्वं वीरस्येत्याह सारथिं। धृतकार्मुकः Mataji's स उपस्पृश्य सलिलं Shri Shuka Uvacha. Sukadeva Goswami said, Saha, he, Pradyumna, Upasprishya, touching, Salilam, water, Damshitaha, fastening his armor, Dhrita, taking up, Karmukaha, his bow, Naya, take, Mam, me, Dyumataha, of Dyuman, Parshvam, to the side, Veerasya, of the hero, Iti, thus, Aha, he spoke, Sarathim, to his driver. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, after refreshing himself with water, putting on his armor and picking up his bow, Lord Pradyumna told his driver, take me back to where the hero Dyuman is standing. Purport. Pradyumna was eager to rectify the discrepancy of his having left the battlefield when his chariot driver carried him away unconscious. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroh Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabho Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I offer my humble obeisances to all the devotees at ISKCON Juhu. I seek blessings from His Holiness Ananta Krishna Goswami Maharaj. I seek blessings from His Grace Brajahari Prabhu and all the other assembled senior devotees. With your blessings, I'll make a humble attempt to speak a few words on this topic. Today we are reading from the 10th canto, 77th chapter, where Sukadeva Goswami describes how Lord Krishna slays the demon Shalva. So this 10th canto of Bhagavatam is filled with so many pastimes of Krishna, and in the initial part of this canto, Sukadeva Goswami described Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan, and later he described very briefly the pastimes of Krishna in Mathura. Then he began describing Krishna's pastimes in Dwaraka, Kurukshetra, Hastinapur and many other places, Indraprastha. Now we are in the second half. We are almost towards the end of the 10th canto. So once Krishna gets an invitation from Yudhishthira Maharaj, please come and attend my Rajasuya sacrifice. And Narada Muni personally brings this message, Yudhishthira Maharaj's invitation, and Krishna goes to attend the Rajasuya sacrifice. Then in the Rajasuya sacrifice, all the great assembly members, including the Pandavas and so many Devatas and sages and several celebrated kings all over the world, they have assembled there. They all unanimously agreed that Krishna must be the first recipient of the puja here, Agra Puja. Agra Puja means in this Rajasuya sacrifice, someone must be worshipped first. So Yudhishthira Maharaj decided that Krishna should receive the worship, and everyone agreed. But there is one person who had an objection, and that is Shishupal. And he started blaspheming Krishna in various ways. So much of blasphemy. And Krishna has been tolerating his blasphemous words for a long time. But this time, Shishupal crossed his boundaries, crossed all his boundaries, and he could not have any control over himself. And you know what he has done? Krishna released his Sudarshan Chakra and beheaded Shishupal. And after that, Shishupal had so many friends like Shalva, Vidurata, Dantavakra, many other demoniac friends, Jarasandha. So these demoniac friends of Shishupal wanted to take revenge on Krishna. In Krishna's absence, they attacked Dwaraka. One of them is Shalva. In Krishna's absence, they attacked Dwaraka. Just like in Lord Ramachandra's absence, Ravana came to kidnap Sita Devi. In Krishna's absence, Shalva and many other demons wanted to attack Dwaraka. So they came to attack Dwaraka. Then Krishna was away. So who has to fight with these demons who were attacking the Dwarkavasis? The next set of warriors, that is Pradyumna. Krishna's son is Pradyumna. So Pradyumna came to fight with these demons. But during the fight, somehow Pradyumna became unconscious because the opponent is also not an ordinary personality. So he became unconscious. Then Pradyumna was immediately taken away from the battlefield to a safe place by the driver. It's the driver's responsibility to protect the warrior from all kinds of attacks. And especially when the warrior becomes unconscious, the driver has to take him aside, and he just followed his duty. And after a while, Pradyumna again regained his consciousness. So he found himself out of the battlefield. Then he felt very awkward and embarrassed. He felt that it's an insult on the part of a warrior to come out of the battlefield when the battle is still going on. When can you return from battlefield? When the battle is over at the time of sunset, not during the battle. So he told the driver, "Why did you bring me out?" And the driver said, No, I brought you out because it is my duty. You are unconscious. You are not in a position to fight. Then Pradyumna felt, no, what will people think about me? What will my family members and other ladies in the palace, what will they think about me that I came out of battlefield? Anyways, take me there immediately. So again he went inside the battle. And he continued to battle, and meanwhile Krishna personally came and he destroyed the demon Shalva and many other demons. So that's the context here. And there's not much in the purport apart from this explanation of this little moment where Pradyumna regained his consciousness and entered back into the battlefield. And later Krishna will come and participate in the battle, kill the popular demons, and Pradyumna also kills other soldiers of the demons. Now let us zoom out a bit and see the overall purpose of Krishna's enacting all these pastimes. Why Krishna performs all these pastimes? And when did he perform these pastimes? Just about 5,000 years back. When Mother Earth was overburdened by hundreds and thousands of demoniac soldiers, Lord Brahma and all the Devatas went to the milk ocean and offered prayers to the Lord, offering Purusha Sukta prayers, and finally the Lord descended on this planet for the purpose of protecting the righteous, punishing the vicious, and establishing dharma. So these are the common reasons that most people are aware. But the previous canto, the 9th canto of Bhagavatam, this is 10th canto of Bhagavatam. So the previous canto, 9th canto, describes the reasons behind Krishna's appearance as a human being. Kunti Mata also describes, but specifically speaking, at the end of the 9th canto, Sukadeva Goswami describes very striking reasons for the Lord's appearance, the Lord's performing so many leelas on this planet. He says, Kalau janishyamananam dukkha shokatamonudam anugrahaya bhaktanam kalau janishyamananam, because Krishna knows very soon Kali Yuga is going to appear. Where at the end of Dwapara Yuga, very soon Kali Yuga will arrive. Kalau janishyamananam. there will be so many people who will take birth in the upcoming Kali Yuga. Janishyamana, it's future tense. Dukkha shoka tamonudam. To subdue to destroy their dukkha, distress, shoka, lamentation, tama, ignorance. The Lord appeared. Right? The Lord appeared on this planet to destroy the distresses and lamentation and fears of Kali Yuga people. Before even the Kali Yuga people appeared, before even Kali Yuga made its appearance, the Lord created some subject matter for the discussion of all the Kali Yuga residents so that they can become purified. Kalau janishyamananam dukkha shokatamorudam. See how much the Lord cares for all of us. Knowing very well that monsoon is going to come, many places they erect these monsoon sheds so that the rainwater will not come inside the homes or the courtyards, right? So, Jai SriSriRadhaRasbihariTemple. So just as we make our preparations for monsoon, summer, winter, winter is going to come. Okay, let's gather our warm clothes. Let's wash them. Last year we used them. This year we have to use them again. Let's wash them and keep them ready so that in winter we can keep ourselves warm. Just like we make certain preparations to protect ourselves from the upcoming seasons. The Lord Himself made preparation to protect the consciousness of people who are going to appear in the upcoming Kali Yuga. Kalau janishyamananam dukkha shokatamonudam. Before Kali Yuga appears, let me descend on this earthly planet and perform so many enchanting, wonderful pastimes, so that by discussing those pastimes, by hearing these pastimes, by speaking these pastimes, the Kali Yuga people can be purified and they will be relieved from all this dukkha, shoka and tama. So this is Krishna's care specifically towards Kali Yuga people, human beings. But among so many Kali Yuga people, there are some devotees of Krishna. And as Krishna said in the Bhagavad-gita, very clearly, Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyah ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mayite teshu chapyaham. Samoham sarva bhuteshu, I am equal to all. Name dveshyosti, I don't hate anyone. Na priyaha, I am not partial to anyone. But ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya. But if someone worships me with sincere devotion, mayite teshu chapyaham, I have a special inclination towards that person. So, following this shloka, if you analyze the previous shloka, why did Krishna appear? Kalau janishyamananam dukkha shokatamonudam. In a generic sense, the Lord appeared on this planet to create a subject matter for all Kali Yuga people, so that they can uplift their consciousness by discussing Harikatha. Opportunity is given to everyone. But that opportunity is taken not by everyone. Only devotees take it. Therefore, the later shloka says, Anugrahaya bhaktanam. Anugrahaya bhaktanam. To show anugraha, to show special compassion on devotees. Manusham deham ashritaham. The Lord appeared in a manusha deha, in a human form. Anugrahaya bhaktanam manusham deham ashritah bhajate tadrishi krida yashritva tatparo bhavet. Bhajate tadrishi krida. You discuss these pastimes, you worship these pastimes, you meditate on these pastimes of Krishna as a human being. Bhajate tadrishi krida. Krida means play. Krida in this context means pastimes, right? Bhajate tadrishi krida yaha shrutva. By hearing these pastimes, human pastimes of Krishna, tat paro bhavet. Tat para means you become dedicated to Him. So, although the opportunity to discuss Krishna's pastimes is available for all Kali Yuga people, because Krishna gives His teachings in the form of Bhagavad-gita, His pastimes in the form of Bhagavatam, opportunity is there for all Kali Yuga people, only devotees take it seriously. And for Kali Yuga people, it is dukkha shoka tamonudam. Their distresses will be destroyed, their lamentation will be destroyed, their tamas, their ignorance will be destroyed. But For devotees, there is an extra benediction or extra opportunity. What is that? Tatparo bhavet. You become dedicated. In dukkha shoka tamonidam, you come from negative to zero. Tatparo bhavet means you come from zero to positivity. Right? So they become completely dedicated. They become lovers of Krishna. They will become premi bhaktas. By doing sadhana bhakti, you purify yourself of all contaminated qualities. However, when someone sufficiently advances in bhakti, purifies oneself of all kinds of anarthas, then what happens is one becomes a lover of Krishna. One falls in love with Krishna. Now, I quoted 2 shlokas where the Lord is merciful upon Kali Yuga people and specifically merciful on devotees of Krishna. Let's combine both. There is one shloka in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Vyasadeva writes Srimad Bhagavatam. For what? Anarthopashamam sakshad. Anarthopas bhakti yoga madhokshaje. Lokasya ajanato vidvams. Chakre satvata samhitam. Anartha upashamam sakshat. Bhakti yoga madhokshaje. By the practice of bhakti yoga, your anarthas will be destroyed. But lokasya ajanato. Common people don't understand this. That by practice of bhakti yoga, our anarthas will be destroyed. They don't know. To make them know, Vidvams Chakre Satvata Samhitam. Vyasadeva has compiled Srimad Bhagavatam. The next shloka, the main shloka that I need to discuss now. Yasyam Vaishruyamanayam Krishne Paramapurushe Bhaktirutpadyate Pumsaham Shoka Moha Bhayapaham. Yasyam Vaishruyamanayam. By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishne Paramapurushe Bhaktirutpadyate. He will definitely develop bhakti, devotion, love and affection for Krishna, who is Paramapurusha. And by that, Shoka Moha Bhayapaha, our lamentation and fears will automatically go away. So for common people, Shoka Moha Bhayapaha or Dukkha Shoka Tamonudam, Kalau Janishyamananam. But for devotees, Bhaktirutpadyate Pumsaha, Yashritva Tatparo Bhavet, we become more dedicated to Krishna. So the purpose of spiritual life is not just to destroy our anarthas, not just to overcome our fears and lamentation and distresses. The purpose of Bhakti Yoga is to attain Krishna Prema. And the initial results are byproducts, not the end products. Destruction of distresses, avoiding hell, or even attaining liberation, or destruction of lamentation, all these are like smaller products of bhakti. The topmost product of bhakti is we develop love for Krishna. So to make us fall in love with Krishna, Krishna appears at the end of Dwapar Yuga, before the beginning of Kali Yuga, and enacts all these wonderful pastimes in Vrindavan, Mathura, Dwaraka, Hastinapur, Indraprastha, and many other places. So, how much the Lord cares for all of us. We can see the Lord's caring tendency here. Even though the people of this material world, they are not of this material world, they are in this material world. Even though the people who are living in this material world, conditioned souls, are not in a mood of serving Krishna, loving Krishna, worshipping Krishna, but Krishna doesn't want to disown them. He never disowns them. Even if the living entity commits such abominable, sinful activities and takes birth in non-human species, or as even insects or ants or whatever, Krishna is so kind and affectionate upon them that he stays as super soul within their hearts. Ishvaraha sarva bhutanam hriddeshe arjuna tishtati. Ishvaraha sarva bhutanam hriddeshe. The Lord stays within the hearts of all living entities, directing their wanderings, because he loves them, he cares for them. And he's enacting so many pastimes like this, so that we hear them, we discuss them, we speak them, we narrate them to others, we meditate on them, and we purify our anarthas when we reach him, reach Krishna. That's the purpose of Krishna's enacting of various pastimes. Nathe dhatari bhogi bhoga shayane narayane madhave deve devaki nandane suravare chakrayudhe sangini लीला शेष जगत प्रपंच जठरे विश्वेश्वरे श्रीधरे गोविंदे कुरु चित्त वृत्ति मचलाम अन्यैस्तु किं वर्तनैः. नाथे धातरि भोगी भोग शयने, that Natha, Dhatari Bhogi Bhoga Shayane, that supreme creator, supreme maintainer of this universe, Dhata, Natha, sleeps on a snake bed. Bhogi Bhoga Shayane, Narayane Madhave. He is Narayana, he is Madhava, he is the husband of goddess of fortune. Deve Devaki Nandane Suravare Chakrayudhe Sangini. Deve Devaki Nandane. He is the supreme lord who appears as the son of Mother Devaki. Suravare, the god of all gods. Chakrayudhe Sangini. He holds his this chakra, Sudarshana chakra and Saranga bow. Chakrayudhe Sangini. The next line comes in our current context. This is what I wanted to elaborate on. Leela Sesha Jagat Prapancha Jathare Vishweshware Sridhare. Leela Sesha. Asesha means unlimited Leelas. Leela Sesha Jagat Prapancha Jathare Vishweshware Sridhare. Jagat Prapancha Jathare. This entire Jagat Prapancha, this entire universe is there in his Jathara, in his belly. That Lord who holds the entire universe within his belly, that Lord who displayed the entire universe within his belly to Mother Yashoda, as you are seeing in that picture. Yashoda Mother is seeing the entire universe in Krishna's mouth. Leela Sesha Jagat Prapancha Jathare Vishweshware Sridhare. So that Lord performs unlimited Leelas. So he is holding the entire universe or millions of universes within his belly. As Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, he holds the planetary systems within one universe in his belly. As Mahavishnu, he holds unlimited universes in his belly. As Krishna, he holds everything as he displayed there. So that Lord, who is not only the father of the universe or mother of the universe or the maintainer of the universe, he is also performer of so many enchanting leelas within the universe. So that little pastime that you are seeing there, on that beautiful carving, Krishna displayed the entire universe within his belly to Mother Yashoda. That itself is a leela. Now in that you understand the Siddhanta that Krishna is the supreme father of the universe or supreme mother of the universe, because mother holds the child in the belly, right? The Lord is holding the universe in his belly and all the universal residents in his belly. So in that sense he is mother. And he also says, I am the father. Aham bija pradah pitaha. So that shows the Siddhanta, that proves, that establishes Krishna's position as the supreme mother or father or parent of this universe, creator of this universe, maintainer of this universe. But showing that universe within his belly to Mother Yashoda is a sweet loving exchange that's happening between a son and a mother. You see this? A Leela. Siddhanta and Leela are combined there. You understand Krishna's divinity, Krishna's position by understanding the philosophy Siddhanta, but you also understand how glorious the Lord is and how sweet the Lord is by seeing his sweet pastimes. He ate dirt. Yashoda Mata became worried. Yashoda Mata became so worried that Krishna ate dirt. Then what happened? She came to Krishna and said, Krishna, why did you eat dirt? Am I not feeding you sandesh and barfi and sweet rice and rasgulla and rasmalai or sweet other delicious cow products? Butter? Why are you eating dirt? Open your mouth. I want to see. Then he opened his mouth. So in this form, in this pastime where Krishna displayed his majesty and grandeur as the creator or the mother or the father of the universe, he is also displaying his sweetness. Very sweet exchange with his mother. Child is doing some mischief, mother is scolding, and that loving bonding, emotional bonding with the mother, between the mother and the child is highlighted there also. So that will completely captivate our hearts. The Siddhanta there impresses our intelligence. And the Leela there, the sweetness in the Leela impresses our heart. Thus, the pastimes of Bhagavatam, the shlokas of Bhagavatam, are meant to give great pleasure to our ears, to our intellect, to our heart, to our everything. So Krishna is displaying such enchanting Leelas and showing how much he's a lovable personality and how much he loves you. And also establishing how great he is, how majestic he is. You can see the majesty and grandeur of Krishna by seeing the Aishwarya side of his pastimes. You can also see the sweetness and loving nature of Krishna by seeing the emotional aspect of that pastime also. Thus, there is no other way but fall in love with Krishna. Yashritva tatparo bhavet. By hearing these pastimes, tatpara, you become dedicated to Krishna. That's the purpose of life, human life. To dedicate ourselves to Krishna. To become lovers of Krishna. To become servants of Krishna. To perform loving service to Krishna. That's the purpose of human life. Prema pumartho mahan. Isn't it? So, Krishna is ensuring that it happens. Krishna is ensuring that we become his servants and lovers and perform loving service unto him by enacting these pastimes. Otherwise, Krishna can perform unlimited pastimes in the spiritual world where everybody loves him. Why he has to descend from the spiritual world to material world where hardly anyone loves him and perform pastimes here? If you want to do something, you want to go to a place where people love you, where it's comfortable for you. But why the Lord is coming to a place which is uncomfortable? Of course, there is no discomfort for the Lord at any time. but the ambience here is not so surcharged with loving vibrations as it is in the spiritual world. But out of compassion, Krishna is coming. That's what we discussed. Anugrahaya bhaktanam manusham dehamashritah bhajate tadrishi krida yashritva tatparo bhavet. Anugrahaya bhaktanam, to show his anugraha on all the bhaktas. Manusham dehamashritah. Krishna appears in the form of a human being. Anugraha, compassion, causeless mercy. Although the people in this material world, most of them don't want to worship the Lord, but the Lord doesn't want to disown them. To show his compassion, he appears and performs so many enchanting leelas. Leela Sesha Jagat Prapancha Jathare Vishweshware Sridhare Govinde Kuru Chitta Vritti Machalam Anyaistu Kim Vartanaihi. By performing this Leela Sesha, unlimited, innumerable pastimes as a human being in this planet, you know what he is trying to do? Govinde Kuru Chitta Vritti Machalam. He is trying to make our consciousness be dedicated to him. I have not come to the last line yet. Govinde Kuru. We are actually praying to the Lord. Oh Lord, you have performed so many unlimited pastimes. Let me hear the pastimes. Let me relish the pastimes. Let me speak the pastimes. Let me immerse my mind completely in those pastimes, in those leelas. And become Krishna conscious. Govinda. There is a prayer. Oh Govinda, Kuru Chitta Vrittim Achalam. My Chitta Vritti. Vritti is the activity that you do. Chitta is consciousness. What is the activity of this consciousness? Let the activities of my consciousness be completely dedicated to you. With my consciousness, let me just meditate upon you. Govinde Kuru Chitta Vrittim Achalam. Achala means without any chanchalta, without any restlessness, without any distractions or deviations. Without any distractions or deviations, let my chitta, let my consciousness be dedicated to you. Let me think about you. Let me meditate on you. That's the purpose for which you have enacted the pastimes. So, although devotees want to dedicate their heart to the Lord, if they don't have sufficient subject matter to meditate upon, what will they think about? Right? Therefore, Krishna has so many names, Nama, so many forms, Rupa, so many qualities, Guna, so many pastimes, Leelas. So, Krishna ensures that even Kali Yuga people also, even the devotees in Kali Yuga also have access to his Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, unlimited Namas, unlimited Rupas, unlimited Gunas, unlimited Leelas. So that we have sufficient subject matter to meditate upon, to think about, to discuss about. Pick up some name of Krishna and just chant the name. Pick up some Leela of Krishna and discuss that Leela, meditate on that Leela. Pick up some quality of Krishna, say compassion or gratitude or mercy or beauty, and then analyze it. Just immerse your mind in that oceanic beauty of Krishna or oceanic pastimes of Krishna. So, Krishna is giving us access to his Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela in the form of Bhagavatam and all the other scriptures and the Acharya's explanations, just so that we become Krishna conscious. Govinde kuru chitta vritti machalam anyaistu kim vartanaihi. What's the use of allowing the mind to meditate on hundreds and thousands of useless topics that will not give us entry into the spiritual world? Who says this? Brahma says. Yanna vrajantyaga bhido rachananuvada shrinvanti yenya vishaya kukathamatighni yastu shruta hata bhagais nrubiratha sara tam stam kshipantya sharaneshu tamassu hanta. This shloka very beautifully explains to us. Brahma emphatically explains, Yanna vrajanti akabhido rachananuvada. Who cannot enter the spiritual world? Who cannot enter? Shrinvanti ye anya vishaya. Those who hear materialistic topics and immerse their minds and consciousness and chitta vritti in those materialistic subject matters of whether it is gossip or some other materialistic subject. If you immerse your mind there, kukatha, that bad topics, matighni, that will corrupt your minds, corrupt our intelligence. Our minds or intelligence, the subtle body, is influenced by how the senses are interacting with the sense objects, especially the ear. When it starts hearing some gossip, hearing some materialistic subjects, so through the ears, those subjects will enter into the heart, enter into the mind, and they contaminate the mind. They corrupt the mind. And you start meditating on that. Dhyayato vishayan pumsa sangastesho pajayate sangat sanjayate kama kamat krodho bhijayate. So, when we hear material subjects, we develop material desires. We meditate on those material objects. We become attached to them. We want to attain them. We pursue them. And if we fail in our pursuits, we become angry. We lose our intelligence. We become deranged. We fall down. Hearing is a very powerful tool. Let us engage this propensity to hear Krishna Katha. Let's not divert this propensity to hear materialistic topics. Right? So, when we divert that ability and inclination to hear towards useful subject matters, especially Krishna Leelas, then we can elevate our consciousness. Govinde kuru chitta vritti machalam anyaistu kim vartanaihi. So Krishna's human pastimes are so enchanting. And some pastimes that Krishna does in the material world, he doesn't do even in the spiritual world also. All these crawling pastimes, Janubhyam Sahapanibhyam, Krishna crawls like a snake in Vrindavan. That need not happen in the spiritual world, because he's a Kaishwara Murti there. He's always in Nitya Yavana, Janmashtami. No need to celebrate in the spiritual world. So there are some unique pastimes Krishna performs in the material world. Demon killing pastimes. Prabhupada says, in the spiritual world, the Lord is merciful only to the devotees. But in the material world, the Lord is merciful even to the demons. Speciality. So, if we meditate on these unique features of Krishna's Martya Leelas, Krishna's human pastimes, we become more Krishna conscious, more exciting pastimes. Yanmartya leelaupayikam swayoga mayabalam darshayita grahitam Vismapanam swasya cha saubhagarthe parampadam bhushana bhushanangam. Yan martya leelaupayikam swayoga. The martya leelas, the beautiful pastimes of the Supreme Lord Krishna, as a human being in this mortal world, are so attractive that Vismapanam swasya cha saubhagarthe, that even his own expansions in the spiritual world, even his other forms like Vishnu and other avatars, they also get attracted to Krishna's human pastimes. Parampadam bhushana bhushanangam. Parampadam, we can attain Parampadam, the supreme destination, by hearing those pastimes. Bhushana bhushanangam, that beautiful human form of Krishna, is ornament of all ornaments. By wearing ornaments, Krishna doesn't become beautiful. Because Krishna wore the ornaments, ornaments will become beautiful. Parampadam bhushana bhushanangam. So let us meditate on Krishna's human pastimes. Let's discuss those pastimes. That's why Sukadeva Goswami has narrated all these enchanting pastimes. Now here is Krishna's pastime with Sudama. He had tears in his eyes washing the feet of Sudama. One little Brahmana, poor Brahmana, who doesn't even have one proper dhoti to wear. The dhoti is filled with 100 holes. Probably there is no needle and thread also to stitch those holes. He would put a knot. Even Kolavechya Sridhar also, he will put a knot. Whenever dhoti is torn, he will put a knot there. So he wore such a shabby dhoti. And Kuchailam, Malinam, Kshamam, Dvijam, Dhamani Santatam. He has a rib case visible. Only rib case and a thin blanket of skin on that rib case, on that skeleton. That's how this poor, emaciated and very thin Brahmana came to Dwarka. Krishna immediately got up from his couch and came and received Sudama and hugged him, embraced him as if he is treating his elder brother Balaram. He gave so much respect to Sudama. You understand? Krishna's treatment to Sudama is like how Krishna treats Balaram. Balaram and Sudama. So, and Krishna made Sudama sit on the couch. Krishna washed his feet. Generally, when Brahmanas come to a Kshatriya's home, Kshatriya would wash the feet. It's a formality, it's a convention, it's hospitality. But what Krishna did is not hospitality or formality or convention. It is love. Because while washing the feet, he had tears in his eyes. You see, he had tears in his eyes. Means there is emotion involved, not just action. It's not a formal action. It's an action associated with a deep loving emotion. He loves his devotees. He doesn't even hesitate to wash the feet of his devotees. That is Krishna. So when you hear such wonderful pastimes of Krishna, meditate on those pastimes. My God, we can become servants of Krishna, lovers of Krishna. So that's the purpose of enacting hundreds and thousands of pastimes. So it's our great fortune to have access to those leelas of Krishna that he enacted in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam by the mercy of Vyasadeva, Sukadeva Goswami, and many other Vaishnavacharyas like Srila Prabhupada, who gave wonderful explanations to those pastimes. And Parikshit Maharaj, he was hearing all these pastimes from Sukadeva Goswami. And Sukadeva Goswami just began narrating Krishna's pastimes, especially Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes. And he just completed the description of Putana Moksha, Putana Leela. Krishna delivered Putana and he gave Falashruti. Sukadeva Goswami gave Falashruti. What is that? Govinde labhate ratim. By hearing how Krishna delivered Putana, you will develop love for Govinda. So Krishna Prema is the product, is the ultimate result of hearing all these pastimes. Govinde labhate ratim. He gave that Falashruti. Putana loka balaghni rakshasi rudhirashana jighamshayapi haraye stanam datvapa sadgatim. Putana loka balaghni. This Putana is very popular as Loka Balaghni, to kill all the infant babies. and sucked their bloods. Rakshasi Rudhirashana. Rakshasi, she's a witch who knows black arts. Rudhirashana, she has great thirst for the blood of infant babies. Jighamsayapi haraye. Although she came with a malicious intention, Jighamsayapi haraye. But Hari, Stanam Dattvapa, Hari considered, Krishna considered that, oh, this Putana acted like a mother and gave me milk like a mother. She also dressed herself like a mother. As soon as I saw her, I suddenly remembered Rohini Mata. When Putana entered Krishna's room, Krishna saw, oh, Rohini Mata came. He thought like that, 6 days old baby. He thought like that, but for a moment. Then he understood, oh, this is not Rohini Mata, this is some witch who came to kill me. But because Putana appeared in that attire and did that activity like a mother, Krishna ignored her attitude and gave her position of a motherly nurse in the spiritual world. Hear these pastimes. How much elevation in our consciousness, how much upliftment is in our consciousness, how much we can fall in love with Krishna by hearing them. Padbhyam bhakta hridistabhyam vandyabhyam loka vanditaihi angam yasyaha samakramya bhagavanapi tatstanam yatu dhanyapi sasvargamavapajana nigatim Krishna bhuktasthana kshiraha kimugavo numataraha. Padbhyam bhakta hridistabhyam. The lotus feet of the Lord are there within the hearts of all the devotees, always. And Putana's fortune is not that she just attained the lotus feet of the Lord. Not that she just got to see the lotus feet or touch the lotus feet. But she got to embrace Krishna completely, and Krishna was embracing her completely. Angam yasyaha samakramya bhagavanapi tatstanam. Angam yasyaha samakramya. Krishna is embracing Putana. Yatu dhanyapi sasvargamavapajana nigatim Krishna bhuktastana kshiraha kimugavo numataraha. Yatu dhani, although she is a witch, sa swargam, she attained the spiritual world. This swargam is not the material heaven. This swargam is Vaikuntha. Yatu dhanyapi sa swargamavapajana nigatim. She got janani gati. She got the position of a motherly nurse. Krishna bhuktasthana kshiraha kimugavo numataraha. If this is the destination attained by Putana, by giving poisonous milk to Krishna, just imagine what the gopis must have attained, what the cows of Vrindavan must have attained by giving their nectarian milk with love to Krishna. So this one little leela can give us enough subject matter to meditate upon and fall in love with Krishna. Govinde labhate ratim. Hear this leela, you will attain rati for Krishna, you will attain attraction towards Krishna, love for Krishna. After hearing this whole pastime, after hearing the falashruti of this pastime, Parikshit Maharaj became worried, anxious. Why are you giving falashruti now? Oh, Sukadeva Goswami, why did you give falashruti to Putana's Leela at this moment? Are you going to conclude the description of Krishna's pastimes? No, I want to hear more and more. I want to hear more pastimes of Krishna. Please don't conclude now. Don't give a pause now. Continue. Why you are so eager? Parikshit Maharaj clarifies. With my understanding, my dear Guru Sukadeva Goswami, I understood that there are 7 effects of hearing Krishna's pastimes. 7 glories of hearing Krishna's pastimes. You know what are they? He says. Because I know these 7 effects, I am eager to hear more pastimes of Krishna. Let's discuss the effects. Yena avatarena Bhagavan Haririshwaraham karoti karna ramyani manognani chanah prabhom yat shrinvatopaitaratir vitrishna sattvam cha shuddhyatya chirena pumsah bhaktir harau tat purushe cha sakhyam tadeva haram vadamanyase chet. Yena avatarena Bhagavan Haririshwarah. The Lord, Bhagavan, Hari, Ishvara, Krishna, appears in so many forms, so many avatars. Karoti karanaramyani. The first effect of hearing the pastimes of Lord Hari is karanaramyani. Ears become very pleased. Second, manognani cha nah prabho. Even the heart becomes totally impressed. They will please the ears with their sound. They will please the heart with their meaning. Karoti karana ramyani manognani cha nah prabho. Two effects. Third effect. Yachrinvato paityaratir vitrishna arati. Arati means attraction towards Krishna. Arati means no attraction. If anyone is experiencing a lack of attraction towards Krishna, hear Krishna's pastimes. You will become attracted to Krishna. Your arati will be destroyed. Your arati will be converted to rati. When you hear Krishna's pastimes, you will get Govinde labhate ratim. So destruction of arati, lack of attraction to Krishna, is possible by hearing Krishna's pastimes. Clear? Third effect. First is karoti karanaramyani. Ears are pleased. Second, heart is pleased. Third, lack of attraction is destroyed. Vitrishna. Vitrishna means hankering. You're hankering to hear. Just like the gopis of Vrindavan, they're hankering to see Krishna. Rukmani Devi, she was hankering to attain Krishna. And all the devotees like Narada Muni and many other devotees, Pandavas, they're hankering to meet Krishna. Sudama was hankering to meet Krishna. So, although we know Krishna, although we hear about Krishna or perform devotional service to Krishna, we don't have so much of hankering, eagerness, excitement. Yes, we do asadhana. Anyone experiences like that? Hankering. So much of attraction. So much of obsession. No, today somehow I have to hear this. So we lack the determination sometimes, right? We lack that eagerness and enthusiasm and hankering sometimes, or many times. As struggling sadhakas who are dozing off in our japa, or even class. So we don't have that hankering. But when you hear Krishna's pastimes, you hanker to attain Krishna. You endeavor so much to attain Krishna. You will become more and more determined and your longing will increase. So that's the fourth effect. Yashrinvato apaiti aratir vitrishna. Fourth effect. Then, fifth effect. Sattvam cha shuddhyatyachirena pumsaha. Sattvam cha shuddhyati. Sattva means heart. Shuddhyati means purified. By hearing Krishna's pastimes, our hearts are completely purified. Whatever contamination is there, whatever anarthas are there, whatever envy, pride, greed, lust are there, they will be destroyed by hearing Krishna's leelas. Sattvam cha shuddhyati. How long it will take? Achirena, very fast. Very fast. Our heart can be purified. Don't say, yesterday I have heard, today I still feel some greed or pride in the heart. No. When you say achirena, on the scale of eternity, whatever little time of bhakti that you are doing, it's achirena only. But it can happen in one day also, one moment also, depending on how absorbed are we in hearing the pastimes. Right? So absorption, it's proportional to the absorption. So sattvam cha shuddhyati achirena pumsaha. Heart purification is the fifth effect. Then sixth effect. Sattvam cha shuddhyatyachirena pumsaha bhaktir harau tat purushe cha sakhyam. The sixth effect is bhaktir harau. We will develop Hari Bhakti. We will develop love for Lord Hari. That is the sixth effect. Then seventh effect is very interesting and exciting. Of course, all six are exciting. The seventh effect is tat purushe cha sakhyam. Means we will develop friendly dealings with other devotees. The juice of devotional service or the relish of the process of bhakti yoga is not only experienced by loving Krishna, but it is also experienced by loving Krishna's devotees, by having loving relationships with Krishna's devotees. Tat purushe cha sakhyam. If you want good friendships with other devotees, better hear about Krishna with them, from them. So when you hear about Krishna from devotees, when you discuss about Krishna with devotees, your relationships will be very friendly, cordial, loving. we come close to each other. Our hearts will come close to each other when we discuss about Krishna. That's what Bhagavatam 11th canto also says. Parasparanukathanam pavanam bhagavadyashah mithoratihi mitha tushtir nivrittir mitha atmanah. Paraspara anukathanam. When devotees come together and discuss about Krishna mutually amongst them, pavanam bhagavadyashah. Because that is yasha of Krishna, that's the fame, glory of Krishna, that will make us pavanam, completely purified. Mitho ratihi, our attraction towards Krishna will increase. Mitaha tushtir, our satisfaction will increase. Nivrittir mitha atmanaha, whatever little obsession we have towards these material pleasures, that will be eradicated by discussing Krishna's pastimes along with other devotees. That's the power of Shravanam and Kirtanam done in the company of devotees. And that Shravanam and Kirtanam will lead to Smaranam. Yadanudhyasina yukta karma granthi nibandhanam chindanti ko vidastasya ko na kuryat katharatim. Yad anudhyasina yukta. When you do anudhyana, when you meditate on Krishna's pastimes, karma granthi nibandhanam, our karma granthi, the tight knot of karma is cut. When you put one knot, now here is a knot. See, one knot is there. So when you put one knot, you can easily remove it. When you put two knots, it's a little difficult. When you put 10 knots, it's even more difficult to remove. When there are 1,000 knots, very difficult to remove. When there are 10,000 knots, not possible only to untangle. They are so entangled that untangling it becomes very easy, very difficult. So the only way to come out of it is cut it. You cannot just one by one take it out, cut it. When you are changing your Brahman, sometimes you have that experience, right? So entangling. So karma granthi nibandhanam. When we are practicing, when we are performing so many karmic activities, every karmic activity is like a granthi, is like a knot. Every time our material senses are interacting with the material sense objects, every time we are interacting with other materialistic people on a materialistic plane, there is a knot created. More and more knots. Since time immemorial, for several lifetimes, there is big knot there. But when we meditate on Krishna's pastimes, karma granthi nibandhanam, that is cut. That knot is cut. We will be released. Chindanti kovidastasya ko nakuryat katharatim. That's why this beautiful shloka says that by meditating on Krishna's pastimes, by remembering Krishna's pastimes, your karma granthi is cut. But what will make you meditate on the pastimes? How can you come to the level of meditating on the pastimes? By hearing them. Ko nakuryat katharatim. Katha means narrations about Krishna's pastimes. So who will not be attracted to the process of hearing Krishna's pastimes? Because this Shravanam will lead you to Smaranam. Smaranam will not happen without Shravanam. What you meditate upon is always based on what you hear. Whatever goes in will only be processed inside. There is no subject matter entering in your ears. Krishna Katha. What will you meditate on? Whatever subject matter has already entered earlier, Kukatha, that is the object of meditation. Materialistic topics. So, we need to hear Krishna Katha, and on the basis of that bona fide hearing from Vaishnava scriptures from great devotees, we should meditate on the pastimes, analyze the pastimes. But meditation is on a higher level. Hearing itself also can act as meditation. Continue to hear, discuss. Yadanudhyasina yukta karma granthi nibandhanam chindanti kovidastasya ko nakuryat katharatim. The Lord is very merciful, extremely merciful. He is always eager to take us across this ocean of material existence. That's why He is enacting so many pastimes. Because He is eager to help us cross over this material existence. He likes to become the boat a captain of the boat that can take us across this material ocean. He's creating subject matter for our discussion. Please, I have enacted so many pastimes just before the beginning of Kali Yuga. And I told my devotee, Vyasdev, to record them in writing. And I told my another devotee, Sukadeva Goswami, to speak them. So it's there in audio format, it's there in text format also, it's there in video formats also nowadays. Right? YouTube classes. So many formats are available. Audio, video, text, image format also. So many beautiful BBT paintings. So, these Krishna's glories and Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela are available in all formats. Audio, video, text, image. Meditate on them. Take advantage of them. And then come close to me. That's what Krishna is trying to teach all of us. Shri Narayana Pundarika Dayana Shri Rama Sita Pate Govinda Achyuta Nanda Nanda Namukunda Nanda Damodara Vishnu Raghava Vasudeva Hare Devendra Chudamani Samsararnava Karna Dharaka Hare Sri Krishna Tubhyam Nama Samsararnava Karna Dharaka Hare. That Lord Hari is like a Karnadhara, means captain of the ship that takes you across this material ocean. Samsararnava Karnadharaka Hare Sri Krishna Tubhyam Nama. Let me offer obeisances. How much mercy he has, how much eagerness and enthusiasm Krishna has to reclaim all of us. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, the sages of Naimisharanya asked 6 questions to Suta Goswami. And one of those questions is, Oh Suta Goswami, can you please explain the cause, the reason for Krishna's appearance? Why did Krishna appear as the son of Devaki Mata in this material world? Can you please tell us? Then Suta Goswami answered that question. You know what is that? To reclaim all the conditioned souls. To reclaim those people, especially in mode of goodness. So for common people, it's like Dukkha Shoka Tamonudam. We discussed, right in the beginning of the class. Kalau Janishyamananam Dukkha Shoka Tamonudam. Common people are in Tamogun. To subdue their Tamogun, the Lord appeared. But some people transcend the Tamogun and come to Sattvagun. They are more ready. When you are going to outreach programs also, some people are very receptive and some take some time. Right? So because Tamogun is more prominent, your Sattvagun is more prominent, their acceptance is more. So to reclaim those people in mode of goodness and take them to the spiritual world, the Lord enacts so many pastimes. He descends on this planet out of his deep compassion. And those pastimes, which the Lord enacted with compassion, are narrated by devotees with compassion. Yahasvanubhavam akhila shruti saramekam adhyatma deepamatitir shatam tamondham samsarinam karunayah purana guhyam tam vyasa sunumupayami gurum muninam. Yahasvanubhavam akhila shruti saramekam. Swanubhavam, after having completely internalized, absorbed and realized the essence of all Shruti scriptures in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami is speaking this out of compassion. Yahasvanubhavam akhila shruti saramekam adhyatma deepam. This Srimad Bhagavatam is like deepam, is like a lamp that illuminates the soul. In the heart there is so much of darkness. To illuminate this dark heart which is filled with ignorance, we need to lit the lamp of Srimad Bhagavatam. Adhyatma deepam atititir shatam tamondham. This Adhyatma deepam will also act like a boat and take us across this material ocean. Tamo andham samsarinam karunaya purana guhyam tam vyasa sunumupayami gurum muninam. Samsarinam karunaya, out of his great karuna, compassion on samsaris who are rotting in this material existence, Purana Guhyam, our Sukadeva Goswami spoke this most confidential Purana of Bhagavatam. Tam Vyasasunumapayami Gurum Muninam. Let me offer obeisances unto that Vyasasunu, Sukadeva Goswami, who is like Gurum Muninam, who is like the spiritual master of all sages. How much the Lord loves all of us. How much the Lord is compassionate on all of us. He is personally coming as different avatars and enacting so many leelas, number one. Second, He is making all the pastimes available in writing in the form of Shastra for all of us. Third, He is empowering His devotees, gurus, acharyas to enlighten us on those pastimes, on those glories of Krishna and fall in love with Krishna. So through His personal avatars, incarnations, and through the acharyas, through the scriptures, He is trying to reclaim all of us. So much of compassion. So let us reciprocate with Krishna's attempts to reclaim us. Let's cooperate with Krishna's attempt to bring us closer to His lotus feet by voluntarily trying to relinquish all the distractions. It's difficult, very difficult, but it's easy when we take shelter of Krishna. Daivi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mame vaye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. Daivi hesha gunamayi. My maya, my, Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gita, my illusory energy is very difficult to surpass. But mameva ye prapadyante, if you take my shelter, maya metam tarantite, you can easily cross over this maya. So please take shelter of this Krishna Katha. He is our only protector. No one else is there to protect us. That's why Kulashekara Alvar says, Krishno rakshatu no jagatraya guro Krishnam namadhvam sada Krishne nakhila shatravo vinihata Krishnaya tasmai namah Krishna deva samuthitam jagatitam Krishnasya dasosmyaham Krishne tishtati vishvametadakhilam He Krishna rakshasvamam. Krishna rakshatuno jagatraya guru. So the spiritual master, the guru of all the three worlds is Krishna. Only Krishna can protect us. Krishna rakshatuno jagatraya guru. Krishnam namadhvam sada. Please take shelter of Krishna. Please offer obeisances to Krishna. Manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Become my devotee. Worship me. Think of me. I have created enough subject matter about me so that you can think about me. I have created enough subject matter for you. Why don't you think? What's your problem? Krishna says, Prabhupada gives a lecture. Srila Prabhupada gives a lecture on this Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto and explains this meaning of these four words. Manmana, always think of Krishna. Bhavamad Bhakto, become a devotee of Krishna. Madhyaji, worship me. Mam namaskuru, offer obeisances to me. And Prabhupada says, is there any difficulty in this? Doing these four items, is there any difficulty? No difficulty. Do it. So Prabhupada says, no difficulty, do it. So basically the process is simplified. And Prabhupada and many other acharyas also have given so much of understanding on Abhideya, so much of practical application perspective. How to implement this great philosophy in a more actionable way. How to bring it down to actionable practices. Right? We understand the philosophy, but how to put it into practice? Yes, this is how you need to do. So the regimen is given to all of us. Rupa Goswami has given 64 Angas of Bhakti, and Prabhupada has made it 16 rounds. You chant and you attend Mangala arati, you chant japa with devotees, and an actionable practice is given. An implementable, actionable, digestible, relatable procedure is given to all of us, so that we can go closer to Krishna faster, right? So knowledge is there. The process of putting that knowledge into application is also there, and great examples of those people who have put that knowledge into practice are also available, and guidance is also there. Still, if we don't take advantage of it, Krishna says, I'm not saying, Krishna says, Atmaha, such a person is killer of soul. Nrideha madhyam sulabham sudurlabham plavam sukalpam guru karanadharam mayanukulena nabhasvateritam Puman virajyeta. Puman vina taret nataret bhavabdhim sa atmaha. I forgot the last line. Kaliyuga memory. So nrideham adyam swalabham sudurlabham. Nrideham, this human body is very rarely attainable, but it is giving us a great advantage. Swalabham sudurlabham. Somehow we attained it, although it is very rare to attain, but we attained it. Plavam sukalpam guru karana dharam. We have this strong boat of human body, and we have a strong captain for this ship, which is the Guru Karana Dharam. Maya anukulena nabhasvateritam. Maya anukulena. There are so many favorable winds in the form of scriptures. So favorable winds of scriptures are there, and an able captain Guru is there, and wonderful boat, human body is there. Boat is there, captain is there, favorable winds are there. If we don't cross over this material ocean, sa atmaha, such a person is killer of soul. Soul cannot be killed, by the way. Krishna only said it. Krishna said in the Bhagavad-gita that soul cannot be killed. Achedyo yamada hoyam aklidyo shoscha evacha najayate mritya va kadachin. So soul cannot be killed, but here Krishna says atmaha. A killer of soul is one who doesn't act on spiritual platform. A soul is supposed to act in a certain way. But instead of acting in that way, if you act in a different way, then such a person is called killer of soul. The soul's excitement is in Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, not in material pleasures. But the conditioned soul who is embodied in a material body, is pursuing material pleasures, ignoring spiritual activities, such a person is Atmaha, killer of soul, or not acting on the spiritual platform. So these are some thoughts that just came to my mind when I saw this one shloka, which is a part of Krishna's beautiful pastimes in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. So any mistakes, please forgive me. Many senior Vaishnavas are here. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much, everyone. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Do you want to add anything, Prabhu? Any comments, perspectives? Mike.
हरे कृष्ण। गंगा के अथांग प्रवाह में चींटी से लेकर हाथी तक सारे प्राणी बह जाते हैं, क्योंकि पानी उसको बहाता है। तथापि जो मछली इसके अंदर रहती है, मछली के छोटे बच्चे नीचे से ऊपर तैरते रहते हैं, उसे पानी बहाता नहीं है, क्योंकि वो जानता है कि इसने मेरी शरण ली है। अगर इसे मैं मार दूंगा तो मेरा नाम बदनाम होगा। इसी प्रकार छोटा पत्थर पानी में डालते हैं, डूब जाता है। तफात जो लकड़ी है वो पानी में डूबती नहीं है, क्योंकि जब पौधा था पानी ने उसको छोटे से बड़ा किया, उसका पालन किया है। अगर डुबा देगा तो पानी का नाम बदनाम होगा। तो सभी नाम बचाने का सबको रहता है। इसी प्रकार जो प्रभु के शरण में आए हैं, जो प्रभु का नाम लेते हैं, वो ये भवसागर से पार हो सकते हैं। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can you explain, Putna was on the spiritual platform?
Putna?
Was on the spiritual platform?
Definitely not.
Then
When she came to kill Krishna.
Yes.
But by Krishna's touch, she was elevated to spiritual platform.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, we will conclude here. It's 9:30 now. I don't want to delay your prasadam. Hare Krishna.